everybody, and welcome back to your regularly scheduled Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And tonight we finally have some darkness on the channel. So we've done a little bit of darkness. We've done some Hop Takes episodes with some darkness. We did the Barrel Age Darkness. Last year we had every intent of sharing with you the special releases of darkness. So these are some unique variants that Surly Brewing Company puts out. They started doing this last year in cans when they made this transition. We did not share those with you. They're actually still in the cellar.
They're still on our shelf. So,
however, due to relevancy, we're going to share the 2022 release with all of you. And that rhymed, and that was perfect. Don't judge me. So, we are going to dive right into these tonight. These are the 2022 Barrel Age Darkness releases. We love darkness, and we're going to dive in. So the first beer we're trying tonight, Ross, is what?
So this is the Ginger Snap. So this is a bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout, which they all will be Russian Imperial Stout. So this one's got ginger, cacao nibs, vanilla bean, cinnamon, and orange zest. So anyone who watches this channel, there's a couple flavors in there we're a little suspect about. I mean, the ginger and the cinnamon we're always kind of a little worried about.
We tried that Run.
The Run was
Christmas gingerbread beer from Phase 3, and it was hot garbage. Hot garbage is the correct word.
But Surly did some really good things. We really like the darkness, so we're hoping this one kind of turns out a little bit better. So
yes,
let's get a little nose on it.
Let's snap into this. Like a Slim Jim. Snap into it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, God.
So the ginger is the prominent flavor on the note. The nose. Whoa.
On the note? It is the prominent flavor on the note.
The prominent note on the nose is the ginger.
Oh, God. I'm getting the orange zest behind that, too. It's like ginger and orange zest.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting cinnamon or even vanilla. Like, the ginger is just like, bam.
But ginger's a strong...
It is.
It's a strong flavor. So to try to get anything to overtake that on the nose, I think it's going to be hard. If you have ginger in a beer, it's going to be really hard to do.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about this. Like, oof. It smells like grandma.
No.
It does.
No.
Okay, it smells like potpourri, though.
No, it smells like ginger.
Yeah, which smells potpourri-y. Okay, let's try this one out. All right, cheers. Okay.
All
right. It's a lot less ginger on the palate than I was expecting based on the nose, but the orange zest is like really powerful on the palate. It's like it's like you dumped some ginger in like high C orange and then added like bourbon to it.
I fully disagree on less ginger. All I taste is ginger.
It's like there's a lot of
explosion of
There's
ginger.
a ton of orange zest on this. To be honest, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's as bad as I thought it was going to be.
As bad as you thought?
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought. I actually am I'm not going to say I'm liking this because that's a stretch. I'm tolerating this. I
am like dreading every sip I have to take of this from here on out at this point.
Okay.
I don't like this at all. I've had, I think, one beer I enjoy with ginger. And I thought, like, oh, I like ginger in beer, apparently. Yeah. And every beer I've had since then that has ginger in it, I've really disliked. And it's just none of the other, for me, personally, none of the other flavor notes are coming out. I get no vanilla. I'm getting nothing chocolate. I'm getting no cinnamon. I get orange zest. It's there. Yeah. But all the zest does is it amplifies the ginger. All right,
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that flavor you get. Like, you wake up in the morning, you were hungover as hell. You probably should have thrown up the night before. You're hungover as hell.
Yeah,
you get a mimosa with breakfast. You're trying to eat some eggs, and then you have to puke, and it comes back up. Like, with the mimosa, like, that's kind of what this is.
A little more detail than we need to know, but fair, I think.
All right.
So where are you scoring this one?
I can't even give it credit for what it is. It's just, if you like this, I'm concerned for your well-being.
I won't go that far. It's to each their own. For me, it's not for me. I mean, if I'm scoring this one, I gotta put this one on Untappd. I'm 2.25.
You know what? Just because, I'm gonna put this in the average beer category at 2.5. Because screw you, Ross. This is not a great beer. It is somewhat tolerable. I would have to be in the weirdest mood to want to drink this. But this is a weird way to start this because I do think that the next two are actually going to be good.
I'll applaud Surly for going for that flavor profile. I don't think ginger is something that, the more I drink it in beer, the less I feel it should ever be used.
Why are breweries putting ginger in beer?
I don't know.
There's no reason for
I
this.
have no idea at this point. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It just doesn't belong. Okay, so
we move on.
We're going to cleanse our palate for a second. A little bit of H2O. If you don't know what that means.
We don't normally do this, but the reason why we're doing this is we have actually 3 very distinct, different flavor beers in this.
We do.
And we wanted to make sure we had a halfway decent palate.
Yes.
Before going to each one.
Yes.
So.
And after that,
yeah,
it's going to be hard. So, the second one here is the Lumberjack Breakfast Darkness, which I'm actually really excited about. So this one is same thing, bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, Russian imperial stout with maple, coffee, cinnamon, could leave that out, and vanilla beans added. So this one I'm kind of pumped about. This reminds me a lot of one of our local favorites in Eagle Park, their Booze for Breakfast. And we love our darkness and our barrel aged darkness. So this should be a nice complementary set of adjuncts with this beer. To the nose we go.
Sniff it.
Gotta sniff it before you sip it, and then you stick it.
As we always say.
As we always say, folks. Ooh, there's a lot of coffee.
That's coffee. That's a good coffee scent coming out of that one.
Big time coffee. I can't get much else.
No, I'm not getting anything else. I mean, that's a good coffee scent. That's a strong coffee flavor, which I'm kind of glad that it's more coffee than maple syrup. I think sometimes the maple syrup can get overly sweet and thrown in there, but no, that's...
What I will say, a lot of times with these coffee stouts that have maple in it, I don't get as much maple on the nose because the coffee's so prominent, but you get it more on the palate. So I'm very curious to see if that's what happens here.
Yeah.
Let's try this thing out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay. I'm getting a little maple, not as much as I would like.
I'm getting the coffee very prominent.
Big time.
It's a good coffee. Like,
It is.
There's a nice vanilla kind of aftertaste at the end of it and everything. It kind of gives a nice like creamy taste. There's the sugar sweetness of the maple syrup, but you're not really getting like a syrup burst in there, in my opinion. This is really good though. I really enjoy this one. I like the coffee notes in it. I'm curious which coffee they actually went with. I would like to see if we can find that out. But
it starts off all coffee. As it sits on the palate, that's where the vanilla starts to creep in a little bit. And the maple syrup is there. It is very well blended into this beer. But as it sits, if you don't take a sip for a minute, what ends this beer and what lingers is maple syrup notes. The coffee goes away, and I get like a very nice sugary maple syrup character, which I actually like. I mean, I love the complexity of that. I do wish the coffee, and this is going to be weird for me to say, I wish the coffee was a little more toned down. So earlier, In the palate, more towards the front end, you would get more of the vanilla and the maple. I'm glad there's like barely any cinnamon in here. We haven't even mentioned it, and I can't taste it. And thank you for that, because it doesn't need it, in my opinion.
I'm going to disagree a little bit. I actually really like the amount of coffee taste I'm getting with this one. Because I think the coffee, whatever coffee they're using, is a really good coffee. And what I think they did a really good job is balancing the vanilla and the maple syrup to remove the bitterness from that coffee, adding that nice sweetness towards the back end. I think this is a really well balanced, really well made beer. I get what you're saying. Like it's a pretty heavy coffee up front. I really actually enjoy that.
Yeah, I like it. I just think in this beer, I was hoping for more of those other flavors to shine earlier.
Unlike what you kind of mentioned, like for Booze for Breakfast, you get a lot of maple syrup. You get a lot of that, like a good cinnamon kind of note to it. This is more coffee forward with the other variants on the back end as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. So, Lumberjack Breakfast, putting it on Untappd, where does it land?
4. I really like this. I think it's well done. I think it's well balanced. This is a real solid 4 for me.
For me, I'm going to go just below you at a 3.75, a strong 3.75. I think this is good. Normally, I like strong coffee in a beer like this, but I do think it overpowers so much of the rest of the characters that this was trying to develop, I'm going to give it a few little knocks for that. So I'm going to go with 3.75 on the Lumberjack Breakfast.
The first time I've heard you say on this channel that because of the coffee flavor, you're downgrading it.
Which is weird for me.
Yeah, that's
for
interesting.
Sure.
So we're ending now with the chocolate raspberry torte. So this one, all of these have come in at 12%. I don't think we mentioned that yet. So this one is the first one that's rye barrel Russian Imperial Stout as opposed to the previous yellow bourbon barrel. This one has cacao nibs, raspberry, vanilla, and that's it. Those 3 things.
Does have those 3 things.
So we finished this. We figured we'd save this one for last, kind of the dessert beer and everything. So not that the previous one wasn't, but
snag your water, and then to the nose. Raspberry torte. I'm guessing this thing will be fruity on the nose.
That's a good raspberry note. That smells good. Holy shit, cow.
Holy cacao.
Holy cacao.
Holy Chicago. 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 Sorry about that, folks. Okay.
No, the raspberry's the star in the nose. There's a little chocolate coming out through, but it's really the raspberry that's there.
Yeah, it kind of smells like a chocolate-covered raspberry.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh. Let that sit for a second.
That's nice.
What you're getting on the nose is kind of what you're getting on the palate as well. It is a chocolate colored raspberry. There's a nice sweetness of that raspberry with a nice kind of bitterness coming through of the chocolate on top of it. I wouldn't say it's overly well balanced because it is like 2 polarizing flavors kind of back to back, but it works really well.
They kind of play off of each other.
Yeah.
It's like parallel notes, and you kind of get them both separately, but they're both there.
But this is really good. It's not as desserty as maybe I was expecting.
It's not. The raspberry is like absolutely for sure there. The way that this hits my palate, front end, you get like a little bit of like raspberry tart, and then you get like almost like a dark raspberry, like dark fruit flavor with the raspberry, and then it kind of molds into this like chocolate note, where you get kind of this combination of like a dark chocolate and raspberry character out the back. It's really tasty.
It is. It's like I said, it's odd for me because I'm a big fan when beers are like balanced with the flavor notes and it kind of all makes sense and blends together. You get like, and this one they're kind of fighting notes, but to your point, they run parallel and they work really well, and they're not fighting each other. You kind of get two different notes throughout the whole thing. Not as desserty, not as like kind of like after dinner beer I was expecting, but really well done.
Shockingly, I think this is my favorite of these three. Did not think that was going to be the case. I thought the Lumberjack was a shoo-in. I think this is my favorite of the three. So if I'm putting the Raspberry Torte in Untappd, I'm going a 4 on this one.
Okay.
I think this is really, really good. I would much rather, to be honest, I would much rather drink the standard barrel-aged darkness than any of these three, in fairness. I would put the regular barrel-aged darkness probably around a 4.25. So yeah, it's a 4. It's a 4 for me, folks. Decent beer, good stuff. I'm enjoying it.
So I like this one better than like the maple, but I'm still giving it a 4. So it's a better 4 than the maple, but it's still really good. I really enjoyed this one. I just like the kind of weird flavor profile that the raspberry and the chocolate kind of play off each other. I thought it was a really good beer, really well done.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, folks, a lot of fun to do darkness. We've done some other darkness stuff here on the channel. We've got darkness up here on the shelf, different variants that we've done. So really neat to see Surly put out some unique stuff every single year. And the one thing we could do without is the ginger.
Yeah, get rid of the ginger.
Please get rid of the ginger. We're over it.
Yeah.
Clearly. So you can find us on a lot of different places. You can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Untappd, and you can find us here on YouTube. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. A lot more where this came from. So check us out, check out more of our videos, and we'll see all of you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.